Good morning and welcome to IGTV. I am Angeline Ong and this is IG Live on Monday, the 3rd of July. Coming up in today's program, indices start the second half in the green and the Nasdaq has posted its best first half ever. Tesla's price cuts pay off. It's reported record deliveries in the second quarter. We'll have more on that in just a minute. Tesla, of course, just turned 20 at the weekend. And Apple's market value has ended above $3 trillion for the first time ever. More on that in just a moment too. First, we're going to look at the VIX for you because many investors are asking, how low can the VIX go? Now, the VIX, which I'm getting up here, has been traipsing lower for much of this year. And as you can see here, it's at the 15.67 level. The volatility index has recently hit its lowest level since early 2020. However, there are plenty of market-moving events this week, starting with Friday's non-farm payrolls. And also, this will give investors a snapshot of how the US economy is faring after 500 basis points of rate hikes from the Fed since last year. Don't forget, we're also on the cusp of the earnings season. And also, we've got the FOMC minutes this week. Now, with 30 minutes to go until the European market open, let's have a look at how some of the European indices are looking. And we're watching quite a flat open here as we count down with around 30 minutes to go. So that's the France 40 or the CAC 40. And the Germany 40, as it's known on the IG platform, also a similar story there, as you can see. And let's have a look at the FTSE 100 ahead of the open, also looking flattish there. Wall Street closed higher. The Nasdaq 100 is up 39% in the first 6 months of 2023. This is the best first half ever for the Nasdaq. S&P 500 up 19% in the last 6 months, which means it's had its best first half since 2019. Taking a look at the picture ahead of the open for you, as you can see here, also a flattish looking pre-market there as traders prepare for the open a few hours from now. Traders looking at the second half, the start of the second half after what's been a stellar year. And just a reminder, US markets will close at 1 p.m. Eastern for the coming Independence Day holiday. Now, in Japan, business sentiment improved in the second quarter. The Bank of Japan Tankan Large Manufacturers Index rose 5 in June, bouncing back from the 2-year low of 1 recorded 3 months ago. Capital expenditure, it's looking like it ramped up 13.4%, more than expected. This is the plans, of course, and a significant improvement on the 3.2% recorded in the first quarter. This latest reading confirms the opinion of many economists that the world's third largest economy is on track for a moderate recovery. Now, details of this survey show that while input prices have declined, output prices continue to rise, meaning that companies are able to pass on costs. Companies expect inflation to hit 2.6% a year from now, down from 2.8% projection made in March, but still above the Bank of Japan's target. Let's have a look at the yen versus the dollar. As you can see here, it is moving higher towards the 14,600 mark at the end of last week. This cross briefly rose above 145, or rather 14,500 on this chart. It is at that level that in September 2022, the Japanese government intervened to support the yen. Now, over in China, factory activity in the private sector managed to keep its head above water in June. The Caixin Manufacturing PMI fell to 50.5 in June, from 50.9 in the month before, but market consensus, well, it was above that. The consensus was 50.2. Crucially, the index remains above 50. A print below 50, like the official NBS PMI last week, suggests that the sector is in contraction territory. Now, this latest data is yet another sign or indication that the recovery in China is failing yet to find stable traction. Let's have a look at the chart of the dollar versus the yuan here for you. As you can see that the cross moving steadily towards that 73,000 mark there. However, any signs of the government of China potentially coming in to support the yuan could change the fundamentals for this cross. Over in the US, well, traders are waiting for the ISM manufacturing PMIs for June. The index expected at 47 after a reading of 46.9 in May. This would be the 8th month of contraction for the manufacturing sector in the country. Tesla reported on Sunday a record number of vehicles delivered in Q2. Tesla delivered around 466,000 vehicles in the April to June period. Now, that was up 10% on the previous quarter and 83% higher from a year earlier. This beats expectations of all 9 analysts polled by Refinitiv. Production remained above delivery, although the gap narrowed compared to Q1. And since the start of 2023, Tesla took the risk of cutting its prices to make its cars more competitive, especially in the Chinese market, its second biggest market after North America. Let's have a look at the Tesla chart for you, because of course Tesla has just turned 20. Where did that time go? Tesla has been promising investors that they will prioritize sales growth ahead of profit. And no doubt that margins will be affected, but it is all part of a plan that Elon Musk has flagged. Now, another stock to watch out for early on the IG all-session market is Apple. The company has closed Friday's session with a $3 trillion market cap for the first time ever. But can it remain at this level or above in today's session? Well, the FT is reporting that Apple has been forced to make major cuts to the production forecasts of its Vision Pro headset. Now, this is because the headset is proving trickier, says the newspaper, and more complex to make. Now, after the release of the Fed stress test results a few days ago, US banks have announced their dividend and share buyback plans. Goldman Sachs has raised its quarterly dividend to $2.75 from $2.50. JP Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley also raising their dividend, the latter also renewing its $20 billion share buyback program. And just a quick check of oil prices this morning for you as well, because we are waiting for more signs of a shift to the direction to this market, which, to be fair, has been very volatile, but still trying to break out of this very narrow band that it's been trading in. Last week's Baker Hughes rig count saw one oil rig taken offline. The number of oil rigs fell to 545. The total rig count fell by 5 to 682. WTI still hovering around the $70 mark. Lots of things happening in this market. We've got OPEC Plus and Saudi trying to support prices, but at the same time, it is also a demand issue whereby the Chinese opening has failed to materialize after lockdowns were eased. And also, of course, concerns about the global economy and its recovery as a whole. Well, that's it for now. Do you remember we've got charting at 10:30? And for all the market moving stories, do tune in to me on Twitter. My handle is @Angeline Ong. But that's it for now. Go along with the Ong.
For more videos from us here at IGTV, join us on Twitter at IGCom, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.